Hello, this is Ron Giles calling, and we're going to do a video, the redemption appointment suggestions for ZIM holders doing the RSS program. The moderator is Tracy, and with those introductions, we'll just go ahead. One of the biggest problems that most of us have is trying to figure out what's going on with the appointment. So this is a overview of what Loved One Society will be doing as we prepare for our redemption appointment. The redemption appointment will not have an adversarial experience for ZIM or currency holders. Go to the appointment expecting to receive what you ask for. Let's talk about the appointment process. The appointment process is easy, but needs prior preparation to be successful. It behooves each ZIM holder to quit listening to disinformation and prepare for the appointment with a very positive thought process. The most important bit of knowledge is that the alliance, the ones who have the money, is backing us 100%. We are the ones they are depending on to do the heavy lifting of bringing mankind out of debt slavery and back into financial freedom. This to be done worldwide. We take over when the alliance has cleared the battlefield and eliminated the bad characters. They cannot do this themselves because we are the ones who have been chosen to receive the money and get the job done. We're the real boots on the ground. We are the ones the Alliance has been praying for to put on our full armor and join in the process. The Alliance would never short us on the funds needed to do our work. They won't release us without the funds to accomplish our goal. The appointment will be conducted by Alliance agents whose job it is to get this new gold-backed currency into our QFS accounts so we have something to work with. We ZIM holders are considered sovereign humanitarians. What does that mean? Sovereign means we're going to pick up the ball and run with it. We don't have to be getting a lot of instructions or report back to people and so on and so forth. That's our calling. We are the cleanup crew who will do the work. The amount of funds available is staggering. Let me say that again. The amount of funds available is staggering. It is beyond our imagination. So we just say it has a lot of zeros, just leave it at that, and then we can move on. The interviewers have no limitations as to how much money they can give us individually. It all depends on who we are individually and the level of humanitarian projects we have planned to do. The most important thing, though, is what is in our heart. That's what they will be able to see. We will get all we need to do, and don't worry about it. Even if you've got a lot of zeros, don't worry about it. It'll all take care of itself. We are tasked with giving the right amount of money to people. They are tasked with giving the right amount of money to people who have a plan and can accomplish the work of constructing a new world economy. We have the LWS action plans that are designed to do that. All we need now are the funds to get it done. All of us need to gain the larger vision of the success that is awaiting our entry into the commencement stage of this plan. If you think you are ready to do your part, it will be necessary for you to think big and go after the highest ZIM redemption rate that you feel is necessary to accomplish what you intend to do. Remember this reality. From where you are, what you need to climb the hill in front of you is probably in your plans. You've already figured out what you're going to do to get to the top of that hill that's in front of you. Little do you know that there's a whole mountain range right behind the top of that hill that you can't see now. That means that what we see now is what we're trying to plan for, but we don't have a clue what's behind that with all of the technologies and the things that we are going to be required to do if we want to fulfill the full measure of our creation rather than just play around with it. When your task is to climb all mountains that are there, your present preparations for the hill will not suffice. You must seek guidance from those who have seen beyond the hill and radio back to you for the greater rate, so you will have enough for all the mountains you will need to climb, and maybe more. This is the perspective Loved One Society is sharing with you here. Our action plans are inspired by those who can see the higher view and know what is needed to complete this task. Our job now is to fully be prepared to meet all challenges. If you have read the Loved One Society humanitarian documents and have a certain amount of understanding, you can see that we will require huge sums of money to get our job done. If you don't see this yet, then reread the documents again, as if you are the only one in charge of implementing the programs worldwide. That can be overwhelming, but it is at the same time inspiring. So let's be sure we are prepared for our redemption appointment, which is the starting gate of this whole adventure. All our preparations point to that moment in time. Put on your sovereign humanitarian outfit and play the part until a part seeps into your psyche and naturally becomes who you are. Cancel a guru culture that destroys humanitarian dreams and leave their intel on the side of the road behind you as you drive on to the intended destination. Whistle your happy tune and get on with your humanitarian action plans. You will become a mighty force for good as you embrace the divine power that is in you. Talk about the documentation. We have been assured that those ZIM holders who intend to participate in the Loved One Society programs will not have to explain the whole program. The Alliance Angels conducting the redemption appointment will already have been briefed on the LWS programs. They will, however, be looking at ZIM holders to ascertain a sincere intent to do the Loved One programs in addition to their ability to organize and set up the structures necessary to accomplish the intended goal. Appointment preparations. Prepare your presentation in a 3-ring binder, one for each person you want to take to the presentation and one for the interviewer. Prepare to leave the interviewer her binder. Use tabs to separate the documents. The introduction request page goes first. You introduce yourself, state your intent or to implement the Loved One programs into your humanitarian work in addition to your own projects. Then tell them how many bonds and the currencies that you have. Request the rates that you want. Request a structured payout term. Request the percentage of principal you want, suggested 10% for your structured payout payments. The name of your trust, if you have one. New revocable trust documents will be there if you want to do a trust. And proof of funds letter, 10 or more. The proof of funds is a way that you can convey to real estate people who say, do you have enough money to be buying this house? Well, you give them those proof of funds, then they can let you in without causing problems for the owner of the real estate or whatever. They'll spend time with you, and they don't want to be worried about tire kickers that aren't serious. The following is a suggested outline that LWS will be using. You will need to adapt it for your own use. This is only a suggestion. There are no requirements from the Alliance to use this format. Here's the example. Okay. Your name is John Doe. Your currencies, 4.7 million dong, 3 million dinar, and 4 100 T note ZIM bonds. and you're from Germany, wherever you were from. So the requesting part of it, you're going to request a Zim redemption rate. My suggested amount is $500 per Zim dollars, and so this person, John Doe, is going to do that. The VND rate, or the Dong rate, is $24.46 per Dong, or the highest rate available to be deposited into the new Dong and dinar account you set up in the Quantum Financial System. The dinar rate, $26 per day. These are numbers that have been published before, and now they're not. They went up really high, really fast, and whether these are the ones or not, that's why I say, or the highest rate available. And that it's both of those, all of your currencies that you're revaluing, or those are the things that will be put in that QFS account. You're going to ask for the structured payout. The term will be 100-year term. Keep in mind there's med beds coming. A structured payout payment paid quarterly, 10 percentage points of the primary principal to determine your quarterly structured payout payment. Number 5, first quarterly payment of the structured payout program to be given at this appointment and deposited in the operations accounts established today. I just need to say something very strongly about this. The people are saying you're going to get 1%, and then you can use that for a little while, and then you'll get the other and the other, and that is garbage. They're giving you your money, and they're giving it to you when you are at the appointment. These are the tools that you will use to do your humanitarian work. There's absolutely no reason to be apportioning this money out to you except through the structured payout program. I hope that's very clear. That's in contrast to what other people have said. But this is what the Alliance is preferring. You can have up to $16,000 in cash to be given at the exchange. That is something that may or may not be accurate, because I've heard a bunch of stuff, but we'll see. Number 7, 10 or more proof of funds statements of clear, clean, and non-terroristic money reference your name on the letter. This letter is for third-party persons, real estate persons, and so forth, to qualify you to view the property where the owner has requested proof of funds to cover the purchase of the property before viewing the property. Now you're requesting a new QF account. John Doe Mother Lode account, John Doe Ding Dinar account, getting debit cards for all the accounts. I'm not going to have cards that go to the Mother Lode because I'm not going to use that for day-to-day or for stuff like that. Request the trust documents if you want a trust. And the only thing you need to do is figure out the name of the trust. You're the trustee, your wife perhaps the beneficiary, and the trustees, whoever you want to have, do that as well.
Can I ask a question here? So if you have other currency like Bolivar or any of the other ones, would you have one account for all of that currency with the Dong and dinar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All of your revalued currencies, go ahead and put them in the same account. Why do you have a separate account? Some people think in their minds, I'm going to use them for my humanitarian, and the money I get from the currencies is going to be mine to use whatever I want to do. And that's okay, but you understand that all of the money that you receive is yours to do with what you want. You're the humanitarian, and being a sovereign humanitarian, you get to choose how you use your money. So if you have money to buy the house on the hill or the Bentley or whatever you're going to buy, it's your money. Do it.
Okay, cool.
And the Alliance knows for sure that as the humanitarian, you will use the money appropriately, understanding that you have a stewardship responsibility to account for it. at a point in time. And but that's what we do. We're here for the right purposes, and they're giving us some money to do those things. So there's a lot of trust involved here, and it's different because nobody's going to be looking over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. Nobody's going to be looking over your shoulder to see what you're doing with the money. And nobody's going to be telling you what you can and cannot do with it. You'll counsel with your angel, but it's your responsibility and decisions to do all these things. The 3-ring binder. I would put my tab number 1. First of all, I have the open sheets of this is what I'm requesting. I just put that on the front without tabs. So your first tab is a short bullet point presentation of your personal projects you want, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, very short. Again, they already know who you are. They know what your intending is to do. They know what your projects are and what you want to do. This is just designed to help you to verbalize it to yourself, something that they already know about you. Once you have given the bullet point presentation, it's time to let the interviewer ask questions. And this time, don't talk unless you're asked questions. And dress well, sit up straight, be positive. Listen closely to the questions and be sure your responses is on point to the question. Some people get a question and they go off on a tangent. I get to be excluded because I'm doing this myself. Anyway, I'm prone to do that, so that's why I put that in there. The executive summary and business plan is optional. However you want to present it is your business. The LWS program documents 3 through 7, copy of the documents RSS, CAC, NRELS, ESS, and the ICCH can be found on the website under documents to put in their PDF files, and you can copy them. Just push the copy buttons on the file, and then you don't have to download each one of them. But they're there for your use at this point in your 3-ring binder. If you don't have enough tabs, separate docs using colored sheets. That's what I've done. I have put in there my Loved One Society is a corporation soul. It's a structure that's a little different than others. But if you need a structure, want a structure, or if you have one that you're going to use, then this is where you can put in the trust documents and so forth, so that if they have a reason to read through it, they can. I doubt that they will. Again, the trust documents will be available at the appointment if you want one. Now, there are no requirements from the Alliance for you to have a trust. Be sure there's people out there selling and say you got to do this, be able to redeem or exchange your currencies. That is not true. Never has been, never will be. Your business is your own business, and the Alliance won't force you to have a trust or anything else. And it's okay, no problem, using your own name and setting up your own accounts. There are no requirements to use this format from the Alliance as well. It's only an example of what we will be using. The following slides are given as an example of what LWS will use for our redemption appointments. It's more of just another written term. So these are the currencies that you hold. And if you have other currencies, you put them there too. You're requesting ZIM rate, $500,000 per ZIM dollars or more. If you receive to ask for $1 million, go ahead and ask for $1 million or $2 million. Understand that thought process has already happened in your mind, and they already know what you're going to be asking for. So don't be afraid. Don't think that they're going to look at you and say and raise their eyebrows. That it won't be a part of your experience with an angel. ask for your dong rates and so forth. A 100-year structured payout payment schedule for the full term of the quarterly payments to us. That's what I'm asking for. Structured payout at 10% of the principal. Quarterly structured payout payments, $15,000 in cash, and then the operating accounts, 10 or more proof of funds in clean, clear, and non-terroristic reference. Your name on the letter. These are the requesting the QFS accounts. The Loved One Society Mother Lode. I have Loved One Society for the dong and in our account. And Loved One Industries is an operations account for a subdivision of Loved One Society that we'll use for Loved One Industries. Will manage the economic stabilization system as well as the international commodity clearinghouses. Requesting new documents, trust documents, Loved One Industries Trust, Truster, and so forth, and any other ones, Loved One Holding Trust. Be sure that you've thought through the trustees and so on and so forth. So if you're going to create new trusts, they'll have the documents for you there. Some closing thoughts. Once you have gone through the request and the bullet points, there's very little for you to talk about except questions. The QFS agent will probably not want to read through pages of information. He or she may only scan to see what you are presenting. Have it available to read if he or she wants. Understand that the way you organize your request will be a show of your intent. Be positive and respectful, but expect that your request will be fulfilled. Have some questions written down about how to interface with the QFS to transfer funds and access your funds and so forth. This is going to be a golden time and an opportunity for you to ask the angels things that you have not been able to get answers to. They don't want us going out and doing the work without full knowledge of what we're going to be doing. So this is your introduction to your angel and talk about things that you want to talk about. This is your time. The QFS agent is available to explain the QFS and how it is to be used in support of your project. So put some extra sheets of paper in your binder to take notes. They may just give you a bucket of information or a packet of information. They may even give you a website that you can go to and learn about what they have prepared about the QFS and the humanitarian projects and so forth. Unless you have not been honest in wanting to participate in the RSS program, your request for the higher rate should be granted. The Loved One Industries action plans are our humanitarian projects to share with you. We will use our funds to implement these plans right alongside all Zim benefactors. Now here's some possible questions. How do we know that the Alliance is backing us? Well, you'll know really quick when they start contacting you and giving you the information to make your appointments and go in. Now, some people are going to ask the question, well, how do we know it's them? And I'm just simply saying this as a blanket statement for anybody who asks that kind of question. When you're in the presence of people who love you, it will resonate in your heart. You'll feel it. Your mind may still have questions, but you will feel the comforting, the warm feeling in your heart, in your center, into your core. That's the best way to communicate with you because it bypasses your mind. Should I put the LWS document in my 3-ring binders? Yeah, I think so. Do I need to trust or be able to redeem or trust to my bond? No, you don't need one. What is the difference between a primary principal and a secondary principal? Structured payout program explained. Now, we have the documents to do that. I'm going to take just a few moments and try to explain the difference between the two primary. You go in and you take your currencies in your Zim, mostly your Zim, and you ask for a certain rate. The rate times the ZIM is your primary. That answer is your primary principal. The only reason for that, as far as the math is concerned, is because you're going to take a 10 percentage points of that primary principal, and the 10% times that will give you your annual amount that you will receive from the structured payout. If you ask for $500,000 and you have a 100 T note, you ask for $500,000, that's $50 quintillion. If you divide that up by the number of years and so forth, or multiply that by the number of years, then that will give you the amount of money that they will put into, now get this, they will put that whole amount for the 100 years that they're going to give you, they will put it in an account with your name on it, and that account will be administered by the Alliance, paying you your annual payments, whether you want them by quarter or biannual or annual, that's up to you. But in this particular case, you're going to get 5 quintillion per year for 100 years. That's $500 quintillion that they will be putting into that structured payout account for you. It has to happen in the beginning because the transaction that put it there has to be already taken care of, and the gold certificate, the digital gold certificates are already assigned and given to you. So it has to be this way. That's why the structured payout system is in place, so you'll have money consistently for the 100 years. You don't just get it all at once and try and figure things. You got a budget to work with, 1.25 quintillion per quarter for 100 years. That's a lot of money. You're not going to be able to use all of it at once. You'll put it into an account that you use for a bond account, but if somebody comes along and says, we would like to have some money help you to build a building somewhere, and you inquire about it in your angel and so forth, they said, yes, we'll take the money out. That's where your money is to take out, and there's real wisdom behind this whole structured payout program. Very good wisdom. Okay, will you be redeeming at a bank or at a redemption center? Now, we've always got somebody telling us what's going to happen. The Alliance has not given out the true answer to any of those questions. We just know that when the time comes, we will get the information that we need to make our appointment, whether it be in a bank or a redemption center. Maybe the redemption center will be your home. Nobody knows right now. The angel doesn't have to travel very far, from his perspective, to get to where it is that he's going to conduct a redemption appointment with you. That's it. Thank you. I hope it was very informative. It's a major thing that we got to go through as far as the getting our funds. This is where it all starts. It's going to be a real fun experience. I believe it to be a very spiritual experience for those who are inclined when they're in the presence of an angel, and that angelic realms will be supporting us for all of the information we need as a humanitarian. We're loved and we're blessed and we're appreciated, and we get to do the work of the boots on the ground in getting us into the golden age of mankind. I give blessings to all of those who want to participate with us and express my appreciation. Together, we're going to get it done. Blessings to you all. And thank you, Tracy, again for your help.
You're welcome. My pleasure.